So food and wine pairing, it's a big subject. It's not rocket science, but it's also not smoke and mirrors. The most important thing for any wine lover to get first is relax, don't fuss. Most wines get along with most foods. But then there are a couple of important rules to know. One is weight. The weight of the wine and the weight of the food, they have to be fairly similar. There has to be a level playing field. Otherwise, one is going to overtake the other. And then the other thing to know are a couple of interactions. One of the most important ones, especially here on the Pacific Northwest coast, is red wine and fish. So red wines typically have high levels of tannin. That's the sort of the drying sensation that you get in the mouth, a little bit of bitterness and astringency. That comes from the skins in red grapes. And when you put tannic red wines together with fish, you can have a terrible clash of flavors and everything ends up tasting metallic, like you're sucking on a mouthful of pennies. Salmon really welcomes wine. It's such a beautiful canvas for white, for rosé, for red. The trick with pairing red wines with salmon is to choose something that is low in tannin. And there's several grapes that do very well here in the Okanagan Valley that are perfect for this. So low tannin grapes and wines, Gamay for one, and Pinot Noir for another. They have very thin skins as grapes, which means they don't have a lot of place to hold tannin, and the resulting wines tend to be quite mild. That's a beautiful invitation for salmon. So the whole Pinot family, for example, Pinot Noir is a very old grape. It's at least 1,000 years old. That means it's had a lot of opportunity to mutate, and that's why it's a big family group. So we have several red varieties of Pinot Noir, like Pinot Meunier, and then we have a host of whites. The two most famous ones are Pinot Gris and Pinot Blanc. So together, the three major Pinots, Noir, Gris, and Blanc, are fabulous for salmon. It's such a noble grape, so there's always intensity of flavor and concentration to handle the weight of all of the varieties of Pacific salmon that we have, from pink to sockeye. And you want that intensity of flavor to go with a fish that's quite robust. That's what salmon needs. It's a food and wine marriage made in BC, the Pinot family, and BC Salmon.